What's up, everybody? We have a special show for you. We've got 2 more shows before the start of NFL season. It's practically here. We got meaningful football this weekend. We've got all sorts of wins, personal wins for Davis, for Peter, for myself. Davis at the 4 spot, I'm at the 5 spot, and Pete's at the 12 spot. Stick around. It's going to be a good draft on today's Swolecast on RotoGrinders.com.
Are you Davis Maddox from the Swolecast? I was like, yep, that's me.
I just want you guys to know I'm total dust. I'm the problem.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Leave it to the guy with the crypto dunes, Abby, to not understand context.
I should have known you getting 30 likes was directly written by someone else.
You know me, I don't do a ton of research before the show.
I've put no research into this. Don't know if it's true at all.
You're on the right show.
Do it, bro. Live a little.
Live a little.
Just live a little, guys.
Welcome to the Swolecast. I'm David Kitchen, Soccer Dave, 2-time Best Ball flagship finalist, joined by Peter Overzet, fellow flagship finalist, and also 15K subs for Peter. So, we did it. We did it. And then also Davis Maddox, and I don't want to shortchange Davis. He may not have made a flagship final yet, but I feel like he's on his way because people have been tagging me in his streams, and it's basically people saying like, Davis is starting to live a little. And for that,
I am, David, because I've gotten to the point to where I get on the clock in about the 12th round, and I'm just like, you know what? You can't make me take DJ Shark. You can try, but I'm not taking DJ Shark. I'm not taking.
He's hurt, by the way.
Jamal Williams.
He hurt his hammy today. I care because I have plenty of DJ Shark.
Yeah, I've drafted 500 drafts by the book. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time to live a little.
Yeah,
Wow.
Davis, we were talking before the show. You want to tell people how many drafts, drafts?
Basically, the Puppy 3 got about 88% full, and I was like, you know what? You only live once. I'm going to be miserable for the next 2 weeks, next 14 days drafting anyways. I might as well just really make the most of this misery. So I max slow entered the Puppy. I'm on the clock in, I'm in about 120 slow puppies, some slows on DraftKings, some slows on Drafters.
How many right now are waiting for you to make your pick in their slow league drafts?
On Underdog, 0. On DraftKings, 0. I make those picks as soon as I get the notification. On Drafters, if you're in a Drafters with me, I'm probably on the clock because I just do those once in the morning and once at night.
Oh, boy. All right. And then Peter, 15K
Yes, Dave.
subs.
Yeah.
How are you feeling
Very
right
exciting.
now? You accomplished what you set out to accomplish. Like, we might not be to 10K subs, but you have accomplished 15K subs in which we can celebrate.
Yeah, I normally don't set metric goals, but I did set out at the beginning of drafting season to get to 15K subs, and we did it. And it might have required $1,500 of incentivizing people to comment and algo hack. But if people are allowed to use threads to hack algos, I think I'm allowed to incentivize people to subscribe.
Money spent on boosting yourself in the algorithm is always money well spent, Peter.
So yes, but thank you, Dave. It does feel good here. This is my 131st Best Ball Mania draft, so less than 20 to go here. I'm starting to get a little nostalgic for hot Best Ball summer. It's coming to an end, Dave.
Yeah, and then we have like home league. Like, I've got my home league draft coming up this weekend. It's typically the weekend before Labor Day, so we've got. And other like the RG, whatever, the Rookslafa, whatever they call it, that draft is going to be next week. So we got like actual home league drafts, and it feels like, wow, like I'd forgotten about like what home leagues were, or like just what regular leagues even were. And so
a true best ball bro, if I've ever seen one.
All right. So
David's gonna walk in. David's gonna walk into his home league knowing all the players, and then Bob and Nancy's team is gonna win for the 3rd year in a row. You hate to see it.
I mean, yeah,
Dude,
that's so
I saw a hilarious tweet about someone saying that they do way better in industry leagues than with home leagues. But they use the phrase that because their league mates aren't drafting a bunch of teams right now, that they have more neuroplasticity and are willing. And I was thinking of all my drunken home league buddies who are just absolutely living a little in their draft to me. Like, no, they're making those decisions because of their flexible neuroplasticity.
Yeah, we are.
I do. I mean, I do feel that though. The take clock, like I can't. Like Devin Achane right now is just like objectively an egregious pick at running back 40. But like I see him and I'm like, that's 10 spots after he's been going all summer. I think I better click him.
Oh.
And so now I'm getting a bunch of Devin Achane.
Yeah. That's 100% me going to be in the home league. Oh, I can't believe you're passing up this guy at this ADP. He's been going in the 80s all summer. So it's going to be hard to kind of put that to bed. I'm going to try my best though.
Yeah,
right,
and
is.
I was just going to say the difference is too, like to your point, Davis. So like a guy like Achane who still very much has a place in Best Ball Mania portfolios, but in your home league where you're just like, I'm going to have to cut him for like fucking Josh Kelly after week 2, where it's that dynamic is definitely very different.
Oh, I got so many bags of Josh Kelly, and now Isaiah Spiller supposedly outplayed him in week 2.
Keaton, what about, or not Keaton Mitchell, Elijah Dotson.
Mitchell?
Oh.
Who?
I was saying Justice Hill.
Elijah Dotson is going to end up being like the spell back for the Chargers. Or was I right the first time? Was it Keaton Mitchell?
No, he plays for Baltimore.
Okay, it was Elijah Dotson. Cards on the table. Right. I am also doing a DraftKings draft right now because
oh my gosh,
David. Because I'm never gonna get there. I'm never gonna get to where I want to go unless I start using my time like this.
No, Dave, that is not true at all. If you really wanted to get there, you would log in on desktop and not be drafting 120 slows on your mobile device.
Do you think that Karain is going to catch himself, David? It's not going to happen like that. Karain is only going to be caught through blood, sweat, and tears.
I just want someone to roll back the tape to earlier this summer where Davis was bragging to me about all of his supplements and how good he's sleeping these days, dunking on me as the guy with a newborn who gets no sleep. And now Davis is like, I just draft all the time and I don't sleep. I sleep like shit. My workouts are suffering. I'm like dragging myself through cardio. I'm just like on the stairs, just hating every minute of it.
Yeah. Imagine having a newborn or, a kid or kids that go to school and you have to get up. Like there's a definitive time that you have to get up to take care of those kids. Like that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I can't sleep in until 7:30. It's like 6:15 or 6:30 now.
I wake up at 5:30 every day and just immediately start clicking. Just immediately. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. I roll over and I'm just immediately drafting.
That's on Huberman's what not to do.
Yeah, Huberman says go get some light exposure first thing when you wake up, and Davis is start clicking.
Yeah, I
joke a little bit. I give myself 10 minutes of grace in the morning. Yeah. I go and I let my dog out and I take my coffee out in the backyard and I sit with my dog for 10 minutes in the backyard before I start drafting. But then as soon as that's over, we're on the clock.
Let's service our audio listeners out there. Davis has the 4 spot. I'm in the 5 spot right after him. And Pete is on the wheel on the 12 spot. People said, is Kitchen the only one that uses the term wheel? I think it's because it was used before like the Best Ball Bros took over.
I like it was like term, Kitchen.
It was the old school term. The old heads, the magazine.
Well, it's also a little poker callback too to the straight, the wheel straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Davis has C-Mac. He went C-Mac over Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle coming back, and then Calvin Ridley for his third player. I've got Cooper. Go ahead, Davis.
Well, this is insane. Peter, I'm wondering if you feel the same way, but I get to like round 15 and there are wide receivers I'm like excited to take these days. So I feel a little bit better with a running back in the first 3 rounds than I did.
Is
I
Michael
agree.
Wilson one of those receivers? Robert Woods,
Absolutely.
those guys?
No, not Robert Woods, but definitely Michael Wilson.
Well, I was going to say, Davis, I agree with you. I also think there's running backs that look better to me now. Just we have more information across the board of picks that look a lot better. Whereas a month and a half ago, I'm like, any of these clicks.
See, I think the running back sweet spot is like rounds 10, 11, and 12, where like I like clicking running backs there a lot now.
Who are these late run running backs that you feel a lot better about now, Peter?
One guy I've been drafting a decent amount is Ty Chandler, having an awesome preseason. I think it's one of the more like sneaky, ambiguous backfields. I think there's a lot of room for someone to kind of charge up and earn a lot of carries. And he's just every year he crushes the preseason. He's an explosive player. So he's a guy that I've been drafting more. I'm really struggling with this Bengals situation. I think I'm about to capitulate and start drafting some Chris Evans here.
Yeah, I've capitulated on Chris Evans.
I'm still drafting Chase Brown.
Yeah,
Dave, this part of the draft we're about to pick in, this is the spot that makes me want to live a little the most, because the 4-5 turn is where like dreams go to die. Like like after ETN goes, every dude is the same to me. Like for Hawkinson, Walker, Kirk, Deontay, now JSN's hurt. Like it's just all a freaking mess.
Yeah, I'm looking at these guys that have started to slip a little bit. Like Walker is one of those guys where he was like in the 40s a couple of months ago, and now he's mid 50s, and why not? Why not draft him? TJ Hawkinson, another guy now that basically he has been usurped by Darren Waller as tight end 3. And
TJ Hawkinson handshake meme, any 2-year-old ear infections.
Right.
Guy hasn't practiced in 2 weeks with an ear infection. What's going on?
I had an ear infection last spring, and they are no fun.
I heard you got a pickleball injury, bud.
Yeah, I did. I'm at the age where I cannot play through injuries. That's just
blame the sport, Kitchen.
Line.
Blame the sport. Say you're a picture of health. You stretch before every match. That it's just this horrible sport that did this to you.
No, I had a pickleball injury. I had a nagging. Okay, so it started with like winning the tournament. And in order to win the pickleball tournament, I had to play 14 games, and I hurt my back, which I could not walk for 3 days. It took a couple weeks for me to get back into pickleball, and I went straight back into it. And then they say like me and Joe Burrow, just elite athletes him coming back to camp, me coming back into pickleball full speed. You got a little nagging calf injury. And I just tried to stretch, play through it. And thank you, Sosa, for that gift. I had to stretch and play through it, and was playing on Friday, got talked into it. 3rd day in 4 days by my coworkers, and I felt it pop. I felt my calf pop. So I'm on the pup list right now, and that's where we are. To recap my team: Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry. He paired him in the 4th round with DeAndre Hopkins, just a couple alpha plays there, and then Deebo Samuel and Kenneth Walker. It's not a bad start. And then Pete has Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson. Not sure what's going on there. Pairs him with Ramondre and Travis Etienne.
Explain like I'm 5. Explain like I'm 5. Pete's team for the audio listeners: Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Ramondre, Etienne, Christian Kirk, and J.K. Dobbins. Explain like I'm 5. Garrett Wilson over Devontae Adams.
Oh, because I think Garrett Wilson's going to outscore Devontae Adams. That one is easy.
I think a 5-year-old will understand that.
I had a 5-year-old explanation. So yes.
Yeah. Aren't you worried about the weather in Jets Browns in Week 17, dude? The stadium's built right next to a lake.
Davis.
I mean, I guess I am worried about Week 17. You get Devontae Adams in the dome.
Yeah.
But no, I thought your question was about 17 weeks.
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson.
All the money's in Week 17, people are saying.
Ramondre Stevenson, end of the
good slurp the dip pick, in my opinion.
Of the 3rd round. Is that really that big of a dip though?
It's about 5 spots past where he was going.
That's not a dip, Davis. That is not a dip.
In the third round, it is. I see Gibbs go over him quite often.
He is.
Now.
They flipped now in ADP. Gibbs is ahead of Ramondre.
So that is a dip, David.
I think like what was so funny about the Ramondre stuff, and you've heard like ETR, who we know drives a lot of the ADP via their projections, they had assigned like a free agent running back usage to their projection on Ramondre. And they had him as like an early mid third round value. That was like already fully baked into the market, the signing. But now everyone's double counting it now that he's back, even though it was already baking that in. So I do think it is a nice dip to grab on Ramondre.
Yeah, but did you see Zeke is playing more in the passing game? Report came out yesterday, so
that's what he's good at. The only skill he has left that's above average is pass blocking.
I like the conviction, and I like also, Davis, you starting to live a little, because like I saw a team that Liam drafted on the second day of best balls, and it depressed me.
It was so good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And it was like, freaking Dalton Kincaid in the 130s, Tank Bigsby and Jalen Warren in the 150s. And
Dalton Kincaid in the 130s. That's 15 picks later than where he's going right now, Dave.
Well, every pick though was like way better than where it should be, and so it's like
the winner. Let's be honest. The winner of Best Ball Mania 4 has already been drafted. I would say that with a high degree of conviction.
Pure mathematics, like 76% of the contest has already been drafted.
I mean, regardless of, I mean, obviously your logic is correct, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of the teams we're drafting right now, we are just funding Paris Pat, basically.
Well, we've always been doing that.
Pat using me as exit liquidity, his story as old as time. How are our top bags looking?
So, like, mathematically, yes, the winner has been said, but I think what you're trying to say too is we haven't had. Actually, let me play devil's advocate, Davis. We haven't had any huge risers. We've had fundamentally, like, you can't draft the guy because he's now a third round pick and everyone had him in the 50s.
Yeah, there's been no Darrell Henderson. The year Tyreek was going in like the 10th round, the Herzig year when Tyreek was going in the 10th round or whatever, or maybe even later because people thought he was going to be suspended. There's not one of those cases. They're all more like JSN and Deontay Johnson got steamed way up. All of the the JSN stuff's going the other way. Dalton Kincaid, good example. Yeah, I mean, right now, most of it is just market correction. There's not been an obvious injury beneficiary of any of this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you, because this is why we've been living a little in these last few rounds. I mentioned like having lots of Josh Kelly. The guy that I've been drafting recently now, a lot of Kyren Williams. Like,
yeah,
what if
that's the mission. That's the missionary. I drafted Breece Hall and Javonte Williams, and I might need a guy to give me 9 points in week 2 pick. It's fine.
Well, it's just like Kyren Williams, and also to that point we talked about like Kelly, like now Isaiah Spiller, like these hot names last year who no one's really talking about now. Kyren Williams, like Keontae Ingram, like these guys that we have, Pete, to your point, we have more of a definitive answer on like who the backups are now.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyron's a guy I need to start taking a little bit more. Are you guys taking Keontae Ingram? Or are you just not waving the cards?
Yeah. I like Keontae
I have
Ingram.
tons of cards exposure this year. Like,
yeah.
I get it. It might be a bad offense, but like, yeah, they're so cheap.
The backdoor stack that you can do, and I haven't done it with Ingram yet, but the fact that you can just go like Kyler, Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, and Keontae Ingram.
It's so good.
It's really nice.
If Kyler's back in like week 5, it's like the advance rates are going to be so funky this year if Kyler's back early.
Yeah, a ton of Kyler. He was available in like 180s last night on DK. Like, I mean, just as a QB3 or even like a QB2, if you just go, I think I drafted one Mahomes Kyler team. Like, that's all you need. That's all you need. And then just count your money. Check out the stream I did with Liam yesterday if people want some interesting video content. I felt like, yes, I feel like Liam was drafting scared.
Wow.
Wow.
Liam drafting scared. I thought Liam was that guy just shoots
I know.
from the hips. Life's a free roll at this point. Drafting
I
from
know.
the hot tub, getting thought
Well,
leaders
and-
like Kitchen on, and he's worried.
And that's why I told him that maybe, because he's like, well, I'm playing with more money now. And I was like, well, maybe that is kind of changing your strategy. Because every person I mentioned, he's like, it was kind of like the aren't you worried bit.
You got to move up to where they respect your raises. That's sort of the secret.
Yeah.
Where your opponents have less neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I was tagged in this tweet or not. But Pete, can you just explain to users what happened? Because I have no clue. The only thing is I saw something in the Swolecast, like someone mentioned in the channel, mentioned it. And then on your tweet, you actually said that they were using phrases like live a little and we just don't know. So
Yeah.
what happened?
So, Kid, you're aware that is this fine on, I feel comfortable on my YouTube channel. I am over on the Better Collective airwaves. Am I allowed to talk about best ball pornographies over here?
Well, you could just say what happened. Like, you don't have to go into detail and say.
Do you want me to explain it to you like a 5-year-old, a birds of the bees conversation?
Birds and the bees talk.
There was a man and a woman who loved each other very much.
Did they?
And they wanted to consummate that love in a birds and the bees way while drafting a best ball team and making a lot of hyper specific references to things you and I have maybe said over the years.
So it was like the entire length of a best ball draft.
Exactly. 44 minutes, which is nice. I mean, sometimes those underdog cardio club drafts can last, 50, 55 minutes. They hopped in a good one, I think.
If you asked me to come up, oh shoot, I'm on the clock. Oh gosh.
Timeout, Evan Ingram. Kitchen, you went to select the guy you were going to get timed out on. So why were you?
Well, I was not. If I had to wait though, I would have selected someone else probably. I wouldn't have selected Ingram, anyways. Well, I'm glad you didn't ask me to like close my eyes and think about this, but like this, if you asked me to come up with the most absurd thing that could ever possibly happen this off season with best ball season, I could never in a million years come up with like this. Like, it is just beyond absurd. Did you know the person? Has he been like in your streams? Like, do we know who he is?
I don't know a lot about him other than the few seconds that I saw. He clearly watches the streams. We know that. We know that pretty definitively. Yeah. We don't know much about him beyond that. I honestly would be open to an interview. If you do want to come out of the woodwork, I would be interested in asking a few questions.
on lulz, this could be a record breaker for lulz if he came.
Exactly.
All right.
All right.
You're on the clock with back-to-back picks right here.
John Kelly took Dak from me. I was going to maybe stack him up with Brandon Cooks, but then I realized that John and shout out.
I'm going to do a Lamb Dak stack.
he has Fields and Dak. I'm going to take Njoku with one of these little oppo correlation.
Kitchen is pissed.
Yep. And then, all right, I'll draft Khalil Herbert. We're just going to go full robust, bro, here. 5th running back through 10 rounds. So my team now, 5 running backs from Andre Stevenson, Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert. Only 4 wide receivers. That's a no-no. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Christian Kirk, Brandon Cooks, and then tight end David Njoku.
I feel like Herbert is a pretty good value right there compared to where he has been going.
Yeah, 13 picks past ADP. Looks like the clear lead back for the Bears. Did something happen with him? Normally, underdog drafters just don't let any buzzy running back fall 13
No,
picks
if anything, there was a report that said that he is going to be the main guy out of the committee. Like he's maybe they would use the word committee.
I'm a little worried about my running backs on this team, Peter.
Well, I'm worried about.
I'm worried about your quarterbacks.
You're worried about my quarterback. Oh, don't be worried about quarterbacks. Remember, I told you my plan. It's Kyler Murray, Michael Wilson.
No, that's my plan. I was the original Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray guy.
Plan. Shit.
No, I'm already good. I'm good at quarterback.
See, Davis, this is one thing. Davis, when I hear you talk about like your teams, and when I listen to the podcast, you talk strategy. You love getting your stacks lined up
Early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Early. Yes.
Yes.
Is it because obviously you're getting the best quarterbacks when you get the stacks early? Is it fear of getting
So one, I do
closed
think
out?
one, it is definitely. I'm about to be on the clock, so I might not get all the way through this, but it
Don't
is
worry,
definitely.
I'll use my full 20 seconds.
It's partially. I mean, one, it's partially that I just think your Derek Carr, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones teams are in the 3-week sprint. They are pretty far behind the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals teams that do advance. And then the other thing is that there's just nothing worse than getting to the end of a draft and being like, oh, I just have this uncorrelated nightmare. Like really, like it is definitely fear-based in that sense of being like, I just have this absolute mess of a team that I like. I didn't get this correlation.
Wasn't there an uncorrelated team last year that almost won the underdog main event?
Well, it's always been the case with that. Like if you just pick the best plays, correlation doesn't matter.
Right.
but
And
it's
in
just
a
very hard to
contest
do.
in a contest of this size, you would actually maybe even say what is it, 660,000 entries?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like a pretty perfect frickin' team is going to exist on that many entries, right? So you like obviously I think a correlated team is more likely to win because you are getting more upside cases in the same lineup, but theoretically someone selecting the highest scoring quarterback, the 2 highest scoring running backs, the 3 best, value-based wide receivers, like all of that's possible.
Yeah.
You're on the clock, Davis. I feel like I missed the boat with this first round of quarterbacks. Now I'm left scrambling.
See, I hate that, right? When you have 5 picks left and you're like, I got to figure out 2 quarterback stacks with these remaining 5 picks.
Davis, I also heard you say that you've kind of ended up with a ton of pits just because you don't like a lot of the options. What's your pits exposure in?
He is my most drafted tight end.
No,
I just looked at this earlier.
You're still drafting him though?
It's not going to let me log in. I just looked at it today. I got 22%, so about $1,000 of Kyle Pitts teams.
Wow.
It's like tight end.
I have stopped drafting him.
Hold
on real quick. I will draft Dulcich like later on, just in case like there is something around. But like the opportunity cost for Pitts right now, there's just it just seems like very
no, the opportunity cost is low. Look at where I just took Kyle Pitts. Look, I took him over Quentin Johnston, James Cook, Elijah Moore, Michael Pittman, Cortland Sutton, and Zay Flowers. Like, sure, there's some opportunity cost, but to say that it is very high.
He's not even playing, though. Like, at least Dallas Goedert is going to be on the field for a high-powered
He's a little banged up. He's a little banged up right now. He's a little banged up, and I think
even if he is healthy, you've got the coach to worry about and all the shenanigans there. Like, you just don't know what
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with this Kyle Pitts bet. I think it is.
Okay.
I think where he is going and his potential range of outcomes, I think it is a perfectly cromulent bet to be making.
In the Swolecast chat in the Deposit Kingdom, people said that maybe you and I have swapped bits because, like, on the show yesterday with Liam, I was telling him, like, no, you can't. Like, we can get this guy 2 rounds later. Like, trust me, we can get him. We don't have to draft him 4 rounds ahead in this weekly winners format. So, and you're you're just perfect with whoever.
Bullock makes a good point in the chat, which is that Martingale is taught in stats classes for a reason. You don't win a Martingale by ending the wager. You can only win a Martingale by continuing to wager, David.
Yeah. Well, I got an email from DraftKings today about responsible gambling. So
about deposit limits.
Point number 1 was don't chase your losses. And I feel like this might be.
Dave, are you high enough on the underdog influencer scale to get the survey that they sent out yesterday?
Probably not. I didn't get a survey. I don't think. No.
Did you get it, Peter? I'm sure you did.
Mm-mm. Oh, the underdog survey? Yeah.
Yeah. I said the number one thing I asked for? Shorter clocks. 5 second clock. Just get drafts over with. Just give me in and out.
Timing out people, especially late at night when it seems like half the
So this
the
is
chat room
I've talked to Rudman about this. They're not going to do this because your average guy hates entering a draft, forgetting he entered it, coming back and see that he autoed his first 5 picks.
They will capitulate eventually.
I don't think so.
Davis, is it true that Underdog, you're in talks with Underdog that they're interested in acquiring the star method from you and just kind of making that available to all drafters, kind of all?
I mean, imagine if I could just press a button to do the star method instead of having to manually do the star method, it would be rocket ships out here. Oh, finally, the Kenneth Gainwell, me having to just fight to the death to get Kenneth Gainwell in drafts is over. There was like 3 days where he was going in the 10th round.
It hasn't been the case on Underdog, but on DraftKings, Rashad Penny has been drafted after Gainwell in a few of these drafts.
He should be.
Really?
He should be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gainwell is going to lead the Philadelphia Eagles in points. Now, obviously, if DeAndre Swift first game of the season does exactly what his running back coach asks and goes and runs up the middle and takes a big hit, then I'm wrong. I'm just going to be dead ass wrong, and Swift is going to score 250 points or whatever. But I just don't think DeAndre Swift has it in him to do that.
All right, Davis on the clock here. Recapping Davis's team, he's got C-Mac, Waddle. Davis, take your freaking time. I'm up now. Now I can't recap your team.
I can recap my team. Just got to make my DraftKings pick real quick. All right, my team. I've got Trevor Lawrence and Tua at quarterback. My running back room is Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Tank Bigsby, and Kenneth Gainwell. Wide receivers, Jalen Waddle, Calvin Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Rashad Bateman, and Rashee Rice. And I have Kyle Pitts paired with Luke Musgrave at tight end. I took Luke Musgrave 30 spots ahead of ADP, Dave. I did that for you, bud.
Whoa.
Wow.
Love it. Was Musgrave like a correlation play, or you just like him that much?
It's just this dead. It's like, I'm not clicking Jaden Reed, dude. DJ Shark, not into it. So someone else.
Why don't you like Jaden Reed though?
Because I like Luke Musgrave.
He seemed I don't know if you saw, had like an 80-yard touchdown in practice yesterday.
Did he?
He's like the guy.
Fascinating.
He is like the starting slot guy, explosive player. All right. I've got Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, Debo, DeAndre Hopkins, Kenneth Walker, George Kittle, Quentin Johnston, Rashad White at 92. I've been drafted. Try to get more exposure to Mr. White. And then Evan Ingram, who has the same buy as George Kittle and was auto pick. Bad by me. Juju, Jerick McKinnon, and then Thielen and Mongo with today's news that DJ
What are we doing, Dave? Are you trying to get the dustiest wide receiver room on the site? Juju, Thielen, and Mingo. What's happening?
No, he's going to beat me. I'm still at 4 wide receivers here. I'm no longer worried about quarterback, but I am worried. Davis, tell me some of those wide receivers you like, so I can start.
I also realized I just did a no, Peter. That's a no. I should have taken Jalen Hyatt when I was on the clock. I was not looking close enough.
Bad boy.
Peter
goes Love and Reed.
The late wide receivers, it's our tall king Michael Wilson, then our short kings Tutu Atwell and Deontay Hardy are the backdoor fillers.
Hardy is not that guy. Sorry, David.
Hardy, David, if you had to guess, where do you think Deontay Hardy ranks highest paid players on the Bills offense? Just guess.
6th.
7th.
I should have guessed way higher on that. Here's all I'll say is if the way for a backup Bills receiver to get there is
he's not a backup. He's the starting slot wide receiver.
We'll see.
He's Cole Beasley.
How often is the starting slot for the Bills going to be playing when they've got?
Well, that is a better argument than he is not starting.
But if something happens to either Gabe or Stephon Diggs, it's not going to be Hardy who gets there.
No, it'll be Trent Sherfield, but he is a zero.
Right.
He is a negative target earner, so I'm not worried about him.
Boy. Pickings.
All right, I am in jail at wide receiver. I've made some mistakes here. This
You're gonna have to pick DJ Chark. That's the comic part of
No.
it. Yes.
no.
Or Rashid
I'm gonna
Shaheed.
do. Dave, you're not even gonna believe
Yeah,
how much
Davis
I'm living.
Musgrave over Mingo there.
No, Musgrave
That's a bad
over
click.
Musgrave
That is
Musgrave over Hyatt was the inappropriate pick.
Mingo has a higher ADP than Hyatt. And should
Michael
arguably now
Wilson
be-
Wilson is just Jonathan Mingo on the Cardinals.
All right.
All right.
Mingo's-
How much am I gonna live here? How much am I gonna live here?
Okay. Davis is on the clock right now.
I really do not
Searching.
know who to select.
Permanently. 10 seconds, Davis. 5 seconds. 4, 3. Curtis Samuel.
That was a little bit of balancing my range because Rashid Shaheed is my third most drafted wide receiver, and I heard Sean Siegel say on a podcast that he's interested in Curtis Samuel. So that's what we're doing there.
I like it. Shout out to a couple of guys. Number one, Alex Berg 22 sent me a link to there is a National Bobblehead Hall of Fame. And the only reason I know this is because he sent me a link to this National Bobblehead Hall of Fame, and they just released their pickleball bobblehead, and the name of the pickleball bobblehead is Kitchen. So I have ordered it, and it will be here November of 2023. So shout out to Berg in the chat. And I forgot who the other guy I was going to thank, but
Who are these people who are drafting Deuce Vaughn in the 15th round on underdog.com?
He's been going so early.
did
It's
you see
incredible.
what Denny said? Kind of.
Yeah.
It
It's a very cute thought until you realize that Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer are the guys responsible for personnel decisions in Dallas. Trust me, I would.
He's basically said that Vaughn is going to ruin these Pollard drafters.
He said Deuce Vaughn is going to be Zeke level annoying for
Denny giving a take that ruins everyone else's fun is very on brand for him.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard drafters can't have nice things. Deuce Vaughn gonna ruin it.
Got my Jaguars correlation there with Chuba Hubbard. Didn't have to take DJ Shark or Adam Thielen. Didn't have to debase myself by taking Adam Thielen.
Daddy gets Brock Purdy to pair with Debo and Kittle.
Please don't refer to yourself as daddy while drafting, especially after best ball brunch.
That's what I have to say.
Kitchen, what's gonna win out? You're what a Puritan you are and not watching the video, or what a narcissist you are and wanting to see someone quote your lines on the big screen?
Puritan will win out. I have no
I agree. I have no interest in watching this thing.
I didn't watch it either, but I'm just I was curious if Kitchen.
I'm fine to live vicariously through the Deposit Kingdom.
Right.
You seem to enjoy it.
like
Yes.
I get the I get the idea. Like you telling me the idea and the phrases, like that's all I need to know. Like I don't need to know really anything else. So yeah. All right. Alex Berg, I take it back because he drafts Kyler Murray. Couldn't get them both in that round, but that's okay. And then let's take a look at the board.
I'm about to polarize these wide receiver picks I'm about to make here. Just complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
If you take the guy in my queue,
if you think you're getting Michael Wilson,
we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, come on. You've sniped me like 8 times this draft. Michael Wilson.
I wish we had the clip of
So
Davis
good.
just
Jacobs Michael Wilson bit
ripping
for
us.
me funniest moment of the offseason.
Devontae.
Don't do it.
Michael.
Oh!
You thought I was kidding, Davis? I was always saying.
I almost just took him. I almost just took him at 172 just because I knew you wanted him.
DeAndre Swift with no Michael Wilson bring back? Come on.
I had to get him for the Gainwell.
Yeah, you got the Gainwell.
Michael Wilson Gainwell is this year's Ertz Algier.
No, Michael Wilson Swift.
As you are drafting like your 140th, 150th team, are you living a little in those first two rounds? Let's say you've got the third or fourth pick. Are you drafting like Davis, like Devontae Adams to see how you compare him with the second and third?
I take Devontae Adams in the first round all the time.
I know. We've said like at the end. I'm talking about like when you have like the third or fourth round pick, like an obvious pick, and you're going outside.
Hold on, I got to make a DraftKings pick. Okay. Someone took Tutu ahead of me on DraftKings. I had no idea what to do.
This is honestly like one of the better shows we've had as far as having conversations, servicing the audio listeners, talking strategy. And right when Kitchen's asking you a specific question, 1 sec, I got to make a DraftKings pick. It all
here's
just
draft
thing,
Puka.
I did actually, funnily enough, I did just take Puka because Tutu is gone. What are you specifically asking me? If I'm taking guys way ahead of ADP in the third and fourth round?
No. I'm talking about, let's say you've got the third overall pick, right? And it typically goes Jefferson, Chase, and then you have your pick of Hill, Kupp, or C-Mac, right? Those are typically the guys in that range. Are you living a little and going like
no
AJ Brown?
No, I'd never take AJ Brown, so I wouldn't do that.
Okay, well, you get my point. Like someone that you can like someone that you can.
The answer to your question. The answer to your question is that's probably the worst spot to live a little because you are.
That's what you think, but what if something happens to each one of those guys?
Well,
and you have
again,
leverage,
David. If the end point of every conversation is
we just don't know, that's the reason why. Peter,
then nothing I say.
Peter, tell Davis
convincing
in your
argument.
flagship final how you got there with Bime 4. Tell him.
I love that you're calling it the flagship final just to really make sure Davis can't be like, well, actually, I made the Pomeranian.
I made the Pomeranian. I made the Puppy 2 and the Pomeranian 3 final last year.
Flagship final. What do you want me to say to Davis? Kitchen, just tell me what you want me to say.
Didn't you and Bime 4 draft Devontae Adams? Like,
yes, we reached for him early. Yeah.
Big reach early. And that's how you got there.
The irony is we did get him with unique pieces that was Keenan Allen and CeeDee Lamb were wide receivers who were going at the 2-3 turn. And then Keenan and CeeDee just had like perfectly mediocre.
Okay. You took Tutu Atwell. What are we? Come on.
Short King Summer's dead. Fuck.
It's just, if we are living in a world where people are taking Tutu Atwell in the 17th round to tilt me, what is literally the point of this exercise?
Well, Best Dog had to scoop up. He scooped. This is so funny. They get 30 picks of Matthew Stafford ADP value and then just completely undo it by reaching for Tutu Atwell 30 picks out of ADP to get that stack.
David's going to take a stud.
Should I take Clyde Edwards-Helaire? I already have Jerick McKinnon. Or should I take Ty Chandler? 5 seconds. Tell me.
Ty Chandler.
I got plenty of CEH.
Yeah, you've already planted your flag on CH, man. Although, do you know what I learned today when I was doing Best Ball Breakfast? I did not realize how many Jerick McKinnon slappies there are out there. There were people just pounding the table for McKinnon. I was like, I've missed this. Where did you guys all come from?
I mean,
here's how you win the tournament.
Let me give. We're 45 minutes into the show. I'll give people a little bit of actual alpha. The Chiefs running back situation is going to look a lot like it did last year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to play more at the beginning of the season than anyone wants him to because he has been available while Isaiah Pacheco is going to be injured or has been injured. And McKinnon is going to be really lightly involved to begin the year. And honestly, if you go back and look at McKinnon's game logs and if you just didn't get to look at the touchdown column, you would be like, how on earth is this guy going at running back 40? Because he really barely played and received no carries. So he's like a subtle person. Like, for example, if Rashee Rice turns out to be good, like if Rashee Rice is what they always wanted Hardman to be, like McKinnon is kind of screwed because the McKinnon stuff has always been happenstance, is that he was the best guy available for that job. But tossing it to the running back is like relatively inefficient compared to the other stuff Mahomes can do. So I think in terms of value, I like Clyde the best of the Chiefs running backs, then Pacheco, then McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why I don't mind pairing McKinnon with Clyde, because I'm on the same wavelength as Davis, thinking that they're going to have value just at different points in the season. And you can get these.
Yeah, like Clyde
really
is going to be
cheap.
dead. Clyde is going to be dead in the 3-week sprint. I don't think he'll factor in at all. But on teams where you're taking Clyde, like if you have a Breece Hall team, for example, or if you have a Javonte Williams team or an Alvin Kamara team, or maybe even a Jonathan Taylor team, if he really tries to hold out, he makes sense on those teams.
All right, we're going to have some fun with this last pick. If you're going to stack up the Jags, you're going to miss out on all the bringbacks, and you need wide receivers, why not a Laviska Shenault renaissance?
I mean, I've told you this. Sam,
that's how we do it, baby.
Sam on Twitter was talking about how he could be the next CPAT, and I agree.
All right, do I take a 6th running back or an 8th wide receiver on this team, Peter? What's your expert diagnosis?
Why ask him just Peter? Oh, well, Hardy is your 7th, and Curtis Samuel is your 6th, so you definitely need another wide receiver.
I think you're wide receiver.
Well, my fucking picks, because people are
Puka?
string sniping.
Now you got sniped on Puka.
I could go full Slappy and take Wandale.
That's how you do it.
But who do you need for like bringbacks?
I'm set.
David does all of his correlation through 7 rounds and then doesn't have to worry about it.
I don't have a Raven. I could take Nelson Aguilar.
No Raven bring back on your Miami stack.
That's
Foreman goes in the 18th round. That is crazy.
Davis is just mad that I took Visca because he was going to tack it on for his big Lawrence Panthers game stack.
Yeah. All right. Here is a strategy, especially on DK, where you have 2 extra rounds. And I told Liam this on the stream. But now you're able to get Damian Harris in the 14th round. And what I've been doing...
You mean Latavius Murray's backup?
Is pairing him with Latavius in the 20th round.
Wow,
then you're guaranteed to get the touchdown guy for the Bills, either in the 14th or the 20th.
You're guaranteed to get the 3rd or 4th option at the goal line for the Bills offense if they have to
try 5th or 6th.
No, Josh Allen, then James Cook, then Damian Harris. Then,
I'm including the wide receivers and the tight ends.
Jet sweep for Deontay Hardy.
Josh Allen is not going to
Deontay Hardy versus Latavius Murray touchdowns. Who wants to book that one with me?
Davis, look, I like the Aguilar pick. Let's just both handshake meme punting it off with Nelson Aguilar and Laviska here in the 18th round.
I mean, I obviously, if this was not on stream, I would have just gotten 2-2. So I'll just pretend that's 2-2 in my head.
Yeah. That's
Davis,
what I say.
This is the most live a little team I've ever seen you draft this year.
Davis, what you just said is what I say
it.
after all my drafts. If this wasn't on stream, I would have drafted an incredible team.
Would have drafted the winner.
Oh, wow. We need to sound like
I lived, David. I took a spot.
You
I
did.
think Musgrave 30 spots ahead of ADP is further than you've taken anyone ahead of ADP.
Dude, that was living a lot. I love it.
little
Musgrave in the 13th.
My team looks a lot better if it's Jalen Hyatt there and any tight end in the next round.
But
or Mingo, and then you could get Musgrave literally the next round.
Davis, the Musgrave as an uncorrelated second tight end, 30 picks ahead of ADP, where you're not building out anything with the Vikings, when you know you're going to be able to get Taysom Hill or a bit like, it's just like you just want the number on your exposures to go up for Luke Musgrave. That's literally the only reason
yes. Peter, you did. You solved it. I want number go up on Luke Musgrave exposure. That's
I'm
literally
the same way right now with J.K. Dobbins. I'm literally clicking him in every draft because I want the number to go up.
Yes. That's literally all I'm doing. And you know what? It's fine. People want another draft, Dave. They want another draft.
my main exposure goal right now is to just draft as many teams without Tyquan Thornton as possible so that he doesn't show up when I post my top 15 wide receiver screenshot. I can't have that box.
I love that Sean a month ago was like, Pete, we got to take him at like the 9-10 turn here. Like we can't risk someone else getting him.
And then last week we're taking Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm trying to draft, like, he is free now, like freer than free.
Who?
He could be the guy you need. Yes.
Well, if he is, then we have packed our bags many times
like he
over.
is. He's like, you need a dollar cost average.
No.
No.
We're dollar cost averaging Traylon Burks. We're dollar cost averaging Kendra Miller. We are not dollar cost averaging Tyquan Thornton.
Okay, can you guys check my? Well, actually, let's revisit this team. I'll present my screen again. Let's revisit these teams so we can service the audio listeners. So Davis, you can start with, you get dealer's choice because you need it.
On whose team I get to roast?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll roast David. So David rolled into this draft without a plan at quarterback. He leaves it looking like he doesn't have a plan at quarterback, taking Sam Darnold's backup in San Francisco, our short king, Bryce Young in Carolina, and Will Levis's mentor in Ryan Tannehill. He takes the big dog. He decides that he's really into running backs who don't catch passes, so he takes Kenneth Walker. Really just he's really hoping that his Vanderbilt guy, Keyshawn Vaughn, doesn't take Rachaad White's job. We all unanimously decided that Jerick McKinnon was one of the worst picks on the board, so David took him. Nothing bad to say about Ty Chandler. He lives not at all taking Cooper Kupp, takes Deebo Samuel 6 spots ahead of ADP, ensuring that if he gets to the 3-week sprint, there are 50,000 other Deebo Samuel teams that are better. There's one thing we know about the Tennessee Titans. They're going to be scoring a lot of touchdowns in the playoffs, so it makes a ton of sense to pair DeAndre Hopkins with Houston, Big Dog in a half-point PPR format. Quentin Johnston, again, ahead of ADP, uncorrelated. He must have been listening to a Michael Leone podcast this week because he takes Juju Smith-Schuster and Adam Thielen, just really getting it all in on 34-year-olds. Watch Jonathan Mingo run one of the worst routes in preseason NFL history and then clicks him because DJ Shark has a boo-boo. Anytime you can draft a 3-quarterback team and a 3 tight end team, taking 2 tight ends in the top 100 picks, you simply have to do it with George Kittle and Evan Ingram. And then somehow takes Irv Smith ahead of ADP, uncorrelated for reasons that I literally cannot fathom why that pick was made. Walk me into the mind of you making the Irv Smith pick.
Easy. I had to pair him with Jerick McKinnon. Week 17, bro.
Okay, there we go. Good stuff.
Yeah, you of all people roasting tight end selections. Okay. So let me pull up Peter's team.
I'm excited to roast Davis's team. I got a lot of good ammo for this one.
I forgot to post my cardio club from this morning, dudes.
All right. Pete goes with the 6'9" buy of Jordan Love and Jared Goff. Sometimes you need Love, sometimes you don't. He pairs Goff with Amon-Ra St. Brown, who we discussed is not worth a first-round pick. And then, Sam Laporta. So he pairs him with this. He brings him back with no one good, Brandon Cooks. Actually, I like Cooks.
This is not a convincing roast.
I can't really roast that. I kind of like that. What I don't like is Ramondre Stevenson and Travis Etienne.
Etienne's like one of the best picks right now.
No, he's not.
Convincing.
Not
very convincing, no. Dave.
Well,
can I just real quick comment on Consigliere's comment? My impression of Davis on the videos now is my impression of Davis doing my impression of him. That's like legitimately what it's at right now.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It's Short King Summer, dude.
Garrett Wilson, I liked the video as far as Hard Knocks of Garrett Wilson. I'm a fan. So, Pete, I don't know if you're consuming that content. Christian
David,
Kirk,
you are awful at this.
Another Jags backup Jaden Reed, who I do like, Michael Wilson, I do like one of my plays, and then McCole Hardeman and LaVisca. It's not bad, not great. Njoku, yeah, we can live with it. So I can't
Live
really
with it.
say
You
much
take him
about
in
this
every
team.
single draft. The only critique
No,
is I don't have Watson
I
stacked with him from you.
I don't hate this team, but it's gonna be like most of your teams, dead in the water.
It's going to
So,
be
all
like
right.
most of your teams. This team is actually very unlike a lot of my teams. I never have this few wide receivers through that many rounds. This is a very uncharacteristic team for me.
Well, where are your Vikings players?
I don't have them, Dave, because I told you could take Ty Chandler, and there's no viable Vikings wide receivers late.
No bring back. All right, you go, Rose Davis, please.
All right, so Davis Maddock here, and let the record show he was multi-tabling a DraftKings draft, so he had a lot going on here. He does take Christian McCaffrey because he was convinced that he likes a lot of wide receivers late, which afforded him this pick. Spoiler alert: there weren't a lot of wide receivers he liked late.
I should have thought through the meta. I should have thought through the meta of drafting on stream, realizing I wasn't going to be able to get two.
Next up, Davis took Jalen Waddle and Calvin Ridley, and the only reason he made those picks is because he was excited to overdraft Trevor Lawrence and Tua Tagovailoa.
I got them both after ADP. Nope, not good
Yep.
roasting.
Yep. Then Davis took Deontay Johnson because he's one of my bold predictions on the ETE show with Mike Leone, and I said he was going to score a bunch of touchdowns this year. Then he took Kyle Pitts, who is somehow his most drafted player, not because he likes Kyle Pitts, but because there's no other options he likes in this range. Love having that kind of conviction on your highest drafted player. He then takes Rashad Bateman because, dude, you got to bring it back. Tank Bigsby, 117, after just saying Travis Etienne is the best pick on the board. You definitely got to reach for Tank Bigsby. In that case. Then takes Rashee Rice because Davis read about martingaling in a textbook, and we're just going to do it all over again. Then he selected Kenneth Gainwell, who Elliott Shore-Parks calls the best running back on the Eagles, despite Davis saying that Elliott Shore-Parks is the worst beat reporter in the entire league. Davis then selects Curtis Samuel because he's desperate for wide receivers. Only selects him because he said Sean Siegel liked him. He heard that on a podcast. But we did skip over the real coup d'etat here. Luke Musgrave, uncorrelated, 30 picks out ahead of ADP with far greater positional leads because he wanted to see his Luke Musgrave exposure go from 8% to 8.4%. We then took Deontay Hardy with no New England correlation, no Josh Allen to be found. Because he watched the stream with Kitchen and Liam, apparently. Also took Taysom Hill because, dude, just remains a total smash. And then lastly, crowdsourced
11% Luke Musgrave. It was worth it. It was worth it.
And then Davis also said, I don't have a Ravens bring back. You already had Rashad Bateman, but he still selects Nelson Aguilar.
The Nelson Aguilar pick is so bad. The Nelson Aguilar pick is so bad.
Not getting any sleep and doing 2 drafts at once maybe isn't ideal.
We have Davis. I think you and I have like just reversed course. Like you are, week 2 for me of drafting.
I just had. Here's the thing: if your draft strategy has no backup when Tutu gets taken, it might not be a particularly good draft strategy.
Your backup was Puka, and then he went.
He just ripped it up and threw it away after Puka left. Peter, this is why you have 15K subs. And again, if people want to leave a comment on here, they can. But are we going to get your Overzets overview once the season starts?
Yeah, that was your Overzets overview for today. It was an improvised roast of Davis Maddox's team. But yes, once the season starts, Overzet overview, in solidarity with the writer's strike. I know you guys have tried to replace me with AI and various scabs, but no, I will return with some Overzets overview. Okay. I think it will coincide with Tuttle being back on the show. That's
I was about to say,
holdout. Yeah.
Congrats to Tuttle for, again, we all have personal accomplishments. Tuttle was being there while his wife birthed number 5 as far as their boys. So Tuttle's got a starting lineup right now. And if you're thinking he is at home just taking care of the baby, I have seen him in the college football projections channel asking about backup running backs for Vandy. So fella is still just grinding. And so we wish all the best to the Gasper family.
Grinding, but not grinding hard enough to draft a best ball team with
Different.
us. So not grinding hard enough.
Different sort of grinding than what we've been talking about. And
I am starting to worry about better collectives like vacation and paternity policy. You guys are, grinding total down to the nub right after giving birth. Sosa was on here producing from vacation. I mean, what's going on over there? Rovell?
Sosa can tell you because fella had a kid last year right before season started. You get like 6 to 8 weeks paternity leave. It is a very, very good thing for people having kids. And I guess Tuttle just had to experience it because he already had 4 before like the paternity leave thing was a thing. And he was like, I wonder what it'd be like. And then he's here just grinding college football projections. So shout out to him. Also releasing the second episode or second newsletter for Cavish today. It is the NFL viewing guide. And let me just say, for those of
that
you,
space isn't very saturated. So I'm glad you're getting in there.
What,
no one really
don't have newsletter envy just because yours lasted 2.5 editions.
I
have to make
mine
3
mine got
editions.
kiboshed.
I just got to make 3 additions to beat Davis, and
I don't know if
we'll get there, to be honest.
I gotta get a new logo done for it because I can do it as like a lifestyle type thing, but I gotta get it.
This is what mine is. Mine is a lifestyle type thing. So I'm going over for people
I wasn't making a joke about the existence of the newsletter. I was making a joke about you writing like a 2003 era Bill Simmons column about NFL viewing scheduling.
It's not about the viewing scheduling.
It's very page 2 of you.
It's about how you're going to watch everything this year.
Yeah.
Do you know why I think Kitchen's newsletter is going to make it? Is because I believe Kitchen wasn't that supposed to be the first post, right? That was going to be the debut post, but then you postponed it because there was breaking news with getting hurt. And that's what a real journalist does. They get to the most important thing. You knew that was more evergreen, that could wait a week. Am I correct?
You pivot. And I already have over 150 subscribers. Just
25
waiting.
of those came from me, Dave. I'm checking the Beehive recommendation numbers. You got to pull your weight on mine. You've only sent me 14. Let's get
you and Mr. Hansen are in this edition of the newsletter. And Davis was in last edition, so trust me, the tree is alive and well.
Are you claiming Liam on your tree?
Liam is claiming Liam on my tree, so
so that's like the inception of us doing each other's impressions, and Liam is claiming himself on Dave's
well, it's
tree.
like really Liam is part of Peter's tree. And Peter is part of your tree, so he's a grand.
And I explained this to Liam because Liam was like, "Do you have any new people?" I'm like, "No, really. It's just like there's no one new. It's just the branches that are on the tree now have their own branches, and so it's just the shape of the tree. The roots have been set, so we're good there." Liam self-grafted, yes. Liam and Corain self-grafted.
Well, and you know what? Liam's a good one to get part of your tree because you mentioned like you aren't really talent hunting anymore. You just said you kind of, but Liam will literally bring on
He's
anyone.
Not talented.
Anyone. Yeah. Liam will bring on anyone.
I mean, Dave just did the show. Like anyone.
Don't say that. Don't say that because tonight he's got Hayden Winks on there, and then at the end of the week or next week, TMR is going to be there. Like literally the biggest guest in fantasy.
Has Liam launched his August only best ball site yet?
Dude, Liam is grinding, dude. He's also doing the thing where it's like, there's breaking news. Let's fire up a stream to like react.
I know.
I
hopped on a stream with him the other night at like 8 o'clock at night, and he's been on for an hour.
Can you say grinding though when like he still has like the default intro, the
He
the
does he do the
30,
screen guard countdown still?
29, 28, 27. I don't know if you
I
say
can't even
grinding.
make fun. There's so many
The
things.
thing is I know Liam is rich enough to pay someone to take care of all this stuff for him, and I don't know why he doesn't do it.
Because he's too worried about his picks now. But no, it was actually a really fun show. So that we did. You want to check out that.
I have 2 streams bookmarked that I need to check out. It's Liam and Kitchen, and I also have the currently unlisted ETR Man vs. Machine DK draft with Leody Silva and Levitad that they took
I need
down.
to check that out too.
Why
did they take it down?
Because it was a
drafting
disaster.
with Silva. So Peter, the night before you and I are streaming next week for the prime time, I have our yearly bros stream with Silva, Reeves, JJ, and Thorman. And it's 50-50 if Evan is going to show up, obviously. But then when he does, it's just so like drafting with Evan is hilarious because he doesn't care, man. He's just fire it takes. He's like 4th round, Alexander Madison, like we good to go. Like he just doesn't. It's the best.
Oh man.
All right. So Peter, did you put out a new stereotypes video? Because I haven't seen it if you have.
Yeah, although it's the new stereotypes video, it's like my mom saying, "How are your little sketches doing?" Yes, there is a new basketball bros video.
What the hell, Dave? That was very dismissive to our boy.
It was condescending. It was slightly condescending.
It's not condescending. It's just like how Dude Perfect, like this is how they really launch their brand in orbit. Is they're stereotypes of different.
But some people aren't stereotypes. There might be 2 people who are on screen with me right now that are just represented directly as who they are.
Well,
hey Dan Zach, you want to do the take cast?
That is exactly what the stereotype
is.
The
take cast, yeah.
I literally just asked him.
It would be a good listen.
It would be a good bit.
All right.
Yes, Kitchen. Please go watch the Best Ball Bros video. You and Davis feature predominantly in this.
I couldn't figure out one of the characters. Who is the character? The screen is pointed down at him. You have like the red and blue like flannel shirt. Who is that?
Oh, that's the weather bro.
The weather bro. Okay. All right.
Which is a new, some characters, hold over each year. This year we introduced some new ones. We got the DK bro, we got the weather bro, and we did the Southern troll. Were new characters this year, and then a couple.
I thought we were gonna get a vaccine died suddenly joke from Southern Charm guy. You didn't quite get there.
There's a phrase where they say you're supposed to treat your audience like poets and scientists. I was trying to give these guys credits, even if they're a Southern troll. I try to give them a little bit the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
All right. I can't open my DraftKings team on this tab.
You were drafting a DraftKings team too?
No. I wanted to get your opinion on my $250 single entry team, but we'll just have to wait on that. So,
did you get Deshaun Watson?
I did not. I got Waller and Daniel Jones. Got Waller and Daniel Jones. So I'm just
Waller and Daniel Jones is just a poor man's Deshaun Watson, David Njoku, Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman, Donovan Peoples-Jones stack.
Cedric Tillman's still free.
Who's your favorite Jets bring back? Randall Cobb?
Hardeman. That's it. All right. Final thoughts, Davis?
Just if you're in a draft with me, please stop taking wide receivers shorter than 5'8". Just leave them for me. You guys saw what just happened to me when Tutu got stolen. It's harassment.
Okay. Pete?
We just don't know, guys. We just don't know.
Yeah, I will say thanks to everybody that has tuned in this offseason. We got one more week. And what I would like for this week to be, we've got to figure it out. I want a blindfold draft. It's been so easy. We can blindfold, but it's going to require someone helping to actually draft this team. So I don't know how we're going to do this, but that's what I want next week to be, is a blindfolded draft where we can't see anything. And all we can go is by the servicing.
Are you sure you didn't watch Best Ball Brunch? Where are you getting these ideas?
Dave, what is this bit?
I said this back. Did Best Ball Brunch do this?
You got to watch to find out, Dave. Sounds a little kinky. I did this as a randomizer prompt 3 years ago with Josh Hermsmeyer. I remember the show because I did blindfold and he tried to guide me to make the pick. It was awful for one pick. So how you plan on executing this for an entire draft is
this bare knuckles ripoff. I think that might be what it is. Gretsch told me about a draft a few years ago, and it's where you don't have
FFPC, you don't have any cheat sheets, you got nothing, you just names.
You're just names. And so this
how are we going to do this on Underdog?
We'll figure it out. So maybe we're doing it on one team, and I've got Devin in here who's drafting for us, and we're all blindfolded.
I will definitely use one of your bullets to do this.
Okay. It's fine.
What if how about this? How about this, Peter? How many Best Ball Manias do you have left?
19.
How about, well, this probably is not possible for you, but I thought, what about if next week you and I do our 150th both on stream?
I have to figure out like my timing with everything. So I don't know. I don't think what I want to do is like a mega stream, do like 6 or 7, and then save my 150th bullet for as close to it filling as possible, basically. But we got Eliminator now. There's a lot of shit we can
weekly winners.
Yes.
You just throw out people. All right. We went extra long today, which is okay. Sometimes it's okay to be extra long. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. Everybody was serviced. And we will see you next time here on the Swolecast on RotoGrinders.com. Peace.